This week on The Splash, a top 100 art show, bringing hunger to zero, and later the 101 on drugs. The Splash is a production of Civic Center TV. We're a news magazine that covers everything from local news to feature stories, also that we can bring you the latest from the greater West Bloomfield area. And now, let's dive into The Splash.
Welcome to The Splash. I'm Brooke Allen, and as always, thank you for joining us. Our community was recently blessed by one of the top art shows in the nation. Reporter Erica Jones stopped by the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show to see what makes this art show so fine.
I'm here at the 17th Annual Orchard Lake Fine Art Show, where artists from all across the nation are showcasing their work.
It's easy to walk through an art show and appreciate the beauty of the creations. But what people don't always appreciate is all the behind-the-scenes hard work that takes place not only for the artists, but the people putting on the show to create a glowing final product.
We incorporated this event in 2003, and it's now voted top 100 art shows in the nation for 11 times. For 30 years, I've gone to over 1,000 shows, so I pretty much know personally 5,000 to 7,000 artists in the art show circuit, so I've developed a national outstanding reputation for producing a quality show. In 2008, we expanded our shows to Florida, which are also top 100 art shows in the nation. So throughout the year, I have 6 shows in Florida and 1 in North Carolina, so we're constantly promoting West Bloomfield and the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show.
Patty's passion for her art shows goes beyond making money to the effort she puts in and the quality of her work. She travels across the country and discusses this with other entrepreneurs.
For example, things I discussed were, number 1, should I continue doing this? It's a lot of work, and I'm not making a lot of money. It's a major financial investment. They said yes. I said, number 2, should I continue being Picky Patty? I don't put a lot of people on the show when they're in other shows, but I know differently, and we want to make sure that all work is made by the artist in the show, and we want to have a quality show.
The artists that are selected to partake in the shows are top-notch and have a special love for what they do that makes the hard work worthwhile.
I started because my husband was a glass blower, he still is, and he's started working in Oregon. He did an apprenticeship, so he started his own company, Neptune Hot Glass. I met him at an art show. I was a jeweler. And I still make a little jewelry, but I got involved with glass art, and I love it. I love making glass. And I've been doing it for 15 years. He's been doing it for 25. It's specifically glass sculpting. And technique is that we make the objects inside the pieces. We assemble them on a steel rod. We put a little precious metals inside, and then we dip it in clear glass, build our layers, and hand shape the pieces. The glass is at 2,100 degrees. That's the temperature we work with. And we've got a furnace, and it's full of molten glass, basically. So when you pull it out, especially after you dip it, you hand shape it either with a graphite pad, or else you can shape it with 2 cork paddles.
Traveling for art shows is not only a great way to sell artwork, but also opens up a network of people for the artists to connect with.
We do 17 art shows a year, and sometimes 13, it depends. And we go all over the country. We have collectors that come in and they love the work, and they buy it, and some people turn into friends that we've collected. We stay at their houses, or we go out to dinner with them, and they've sort of become a part of our family in a sense.
The art show displays the final product, but it's important to appreciate how much planning and hard work goes into getting to this point. Reporting for The Splash, I'm Erica Jones.
You can find more information at our website at civiccentertv.com/Orchard Lake Fine Arts. In an effort to lower hunger for those in our community, the West Bloomfield Police Department held a food drive partnering with Kroger Company. And Jay Kustash brings us the story.
I'm here at the Zero Hunger Emergency Food Drive, where the West Bloomfield Police Department is teaming up to fight hunger in the Metro Detroit community.
So today we're so proud to be able to join with Kroger and the Michigan Association of Chiefs of Police to collect non-perishable food items and money that's going to go to people in need all over Metro Detroit. We were asked by the Michigan Association of Chiefs of Police, and we partner with the Orchard Lake Police Department, and they're on the other side of the building here collecting non-perishable items, and really we've had great community support. We've already collected a ton of food, and it's going to help those in need.
Yeah, so today we are partnering, and last weekend we were partnering with over 60 different local law enforcement agencies from state to county to local PD to help us fight hunger in the summer. We know that when kids are out of school and they're no longer receiving lunch, which might be their only meal of the day, they're not receiving that food. So having an emergency food drive is imperative to help kids this summer. We have 6 different food banks involved. The food bank here today is Gleaners Community Food Bank.
Simply gathering food was not the only thing that those involved wanted to accomplish. It was also to inform people in the community that those in need can be helped year-round.
Well, 1, we get the message out that there are families in need, even here in West Bloomfield. 2, that we're bringing people together, and that's so important in such a diverse community as this, is all of us coming together for a good cause. The West Bloomfield Police Department and the West Bloomfield Police Foundation, they help out with Blessings in a Backpack, and just last year, 230 families right here in West Bloomfield benefited from that program. That program doesn't happen in the summer, so those families still have needs, and we're there to help them out.
You know, we at Kroger have a mission to end hunger by 2025 by donating 3 billion meals. 1 in 5 kids go to bed hungry. And that's not just those in poverty or those that are homeless. It's those that might be on a single income or have had a tragedy and are no longer able to make ends meet. And hunger is right in our backyard. Sometimes it's our consumers that we serve each and every day. So for all of us to come together to bring awareness to the cause as well as feed and make bellies full, it's imperative that we all partner. We're fighting hunger year-round. We know that hunger is 365, and everybody that is hungry doesn't just become unhungry without help. But anybody that wants to get involved, these food banks take volunteers all the time, whether it's packing food, going to a mobile pantry, going to schools, any of the food banks would be willing to take help.
To find out ways that you can help and donate, feel free to visit the link at the bottom of your screen. In reporting for The Splash, I'm Jake Kustash.
For more, you can visit civiccentertv.com/zerohunger. Later in the show, we get important information about drugs and then a new episode of Sidewalk Talk.
Don't go away. You're watching The Splash on Civic Center TV. And now, back to The Splash on Civic Center TV.
Welcome back to The Splash. I'm Brooke Allen. Thanks for being with us. It's important for parents to know the basics of drug trends and how to handle drug abuse. Reporter Lawrence Nyland has the story.
Educating parents on drugs was the goal of a symposium held at the Teen Center at the Jewish Community Center in West Bloomfield.
There is a lot of things parents are naive about, and the problem is they don't know what they don't know. So when they come here, they do find out. It's like, oh, that's what that is, or oh, I didn't know about that, or a new term or a new behavior, just something that they might glean that helps them. And that's our goal, to help parents empower them to help their kids.
With the legalization of marijuana being a hot-button issue today, the question of it being a gateway drug is a topic of interest.
In terms of marijuana, anything can be a gateway drug because it's not really the drug itself, it's the behaviors that someone acquires from using substances, whether it's alcohol, marijuana, or anything else. If they start engaging in activities where that's what they're doing every weekend, or that's all they do with their friends, then that can lead to other drug use as well.
The opioid epidemic that permeates the United States today is especially concerning as it can often begin with just a simple legal prescription for pain medication.
The opioid issue is an issue in part because prescription medications have been around and freely prescribed for so long, and there's multi-factors related to that, from the pharmaceutical companies to the miseducation of physicians to patients' needs. And it's an easy step up to go from prescription opioid medication into the heroin usage because heroin's actually cheaper than trying to get a prescription if a physician won't prescribe you one.
Drugs and their consequences have been an issue for young people for decades, but today's parents battle an obstacle that previous generations did not.
I think social media has really had a big impact on kids in a variety of ways, both good and bad. And I think one of the struggles is that kids feel this constant pressure of being liked, of having their posts liked, their messages liked, their photos liked. And research has shown that every time they get a like, there's an endorphin boost in the brain. So now it's starting to become like a drug. And then in the process, when their friends aren't liking that or they're not having a good post, then they can become depressed, which can lead to deciding to use drugs to deal with that depression.
Reporting for The Splash, this is Lawrence Nyland.
To learn more on this story, you can visit civiccentertv.com/drugs101. And now it's time for Sidewalk Talk, where reporter Patrick McElmurray goes out into the community and asks the questions that people need to know.
My favorite summer vacation spot is Torch Lake up north because the water is crystal clear and there's always a party going on. What's your favorite summer vacation spot?
Up north. Yeah, pretty much anywhere up north on the lake is good with me.
That would be Mexico. I like Playa del Carmen. I've gone there a couple times. It's a great vacation spot, and it's beautiful.
How long do you typically spend?
10 days.
I need a vacation like that. My vacations last 2 days.
Yeah, go there. It's one of the best places.
Favorite vacation, Hawaii. That's where we went on our honeymoon. Yeah.
Mexico. My parents have a house in San Miguel de Allende, Mexico, and we go visit them. Love it.
Favorite vacation spot? That's Hawaii. Yeah, beautiful all year round. Still America, and just the nicest people you'll ever find. Everyone.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
What's your favorite vacation spot?
L.A. Back home.
Anything in particular?
That's home for me. That's it.
Charleston, South Carolina.
Why?
Well, I lived there for a year, and I was a teacher down there, so I fell in love with the city. It's very historic, and it's warm, and there's a beach, and so it's got all the things I love in it.
Steamboat. We love to ski. We like to be outdoors. It has everything year-round, and that's in Colorado.
All right, never been to Colorado. Is it nice?
Beautiful. Yeah, I'd live there if I could.
You can.
Yeah, that's true.
Jamaica, so the Caribbean islands.
I've heard it's beautiful. I've never been.
It's very beautiful. It makes me feel like a Nubian queen when I go.
I love it. I love it. If you ever see us out in West Bloomfield, don't be afraid to come say hi, because you might be a part of Sidewalk Talk.
For more episodes of Sidewalk Talk on demand, visit civiccentertv.com/Sidewalk Talk. And now it's time for the Civic Center TV event update, where we provide you with upcoming events around Greater West Bloomfield. And for more events coming up, visit civiccentertv.com/events. Dispose of prescription drugs with Operation Medicine Cabinet, happening year-round in West Bloomfield, Kiko Harbor, and Orchard Lake, and takes place at the police departments of the 3 communities. Disposing of drugs is completely anonymous. Open 24/7 in West Bloomfield, Tuesdays and Thursdays 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. in Kiko Harbor, and Monday through Friday 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. in Orchard Lake. For more information, visit oakgov.com or call your local police. Learn theater basics with Fourth Wall Theater, August 20th at 10:30 a.m. until 11:30 a.m. Become part of the show by joining the performers for this interactive theater program. No registration or fee, and for more information, go to westbloomfieldlibrary.org. Open hours at WB Parks. Stop by the Parks Nature Room, where you can explore hands-on activities, educational displays, read nature-themed books, and also get up close with live animals. Along with the Nature Room, you can explore the nature trails behind the Parks building. Happening August 20th from 3 to 6 p.m. Admission is free and no registration is required. For more information, visit wbparks.org. Oakland County Clerk's Office is heading to West Bloomfield, and during this visit on August 27th, you can get a variety of county-level tasks completed without having to drive out to the Oakland County office. You can get certificates for birth, death, marriage, as well as obtain property documents and register to vote. This will be going on from 10 to 11:30 a.m., and for a full list of information on what can be done, go to oakgov.com. Come to Henry's Market on Main. This market hosts a variety of fresh, locally grown produce, as well as baked goods, salsa, pesto, and many other delicious products, including free samples. Learn from expert chefs how to prepare a meal with the ingredients grown from Henry Ford's very own greenhouse. The market is open Wednesdays from 9 to 5 and is free and open to the public. For more information, go to henryford.com. Let your kids meet up and eat up. This summer, Monday through Friday at Roosevelt Elementary, free nutritious meals are provided to children up to the age of 18. Breakfast is served from 8:45 to 9:45 a.m. Lunch is served from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. And this free food is available to any children, and you do not need to be a resident to stop by. That's this week's highlights. You can find more events online at civiccentertv.com/events and see everything going on in the greater West Bloomfield area. And we're going to take a short break, but when we return, I'll sit down with etiquette teacher Stacy Amey.
Don't go away. You're watching The Splash on Civic Center TV.
Civic Center TV is your home for everything greater West Bloomfield. Here you can tune into community programming such as our weekly news magazine show, The Splash, as well as coverage of local events and meetings in Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, Orchard Lake, and West Bloomfield. You can also watch all of your local programming online anytime at civiccentertv.com. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home.
And now, back to The Splash on Civic Center TV.
Welcome back to The Splash. I'm joined this week by etiquette teacher Stacy Amey. And thank you so much, Stacy, for joining us. So, where do you start with etiquette? Because it starts very young, correct?
Yes, I start with the very young and go all the way, and I work with adults as well. So it's appropriate for all ages of people, and especially the dining skills.
Right, I know. So we'll get to that in a minute, but the impeccable manners are the key to success.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
Explain that to me.
Well, people out in public are observed by others. Unfortunately, they are judged by others. So we may as well know the right things to do or the proper way to behave in any given situation. That's where I come in to help people know how to do those right things.
Okay, so how did this start for you?
It started with my own two daughters. I wanted them to have the tools to succeed in all situations in life. So I did intense research. I became certified in children's etiquette. Excuse me. I wrote my first book, Etiquette 101, and then began teaching. Years later, I became certified in teen etiquette, and they are very busy, the teens, so to capture them, I also wrote, directed, and produced a 2-set DVD course that coincides with my teen etiquette and dining etiquette course books.
Okay, so from a young age to teenagers, and then even to adults?
Yes.
Okay, so out of those three categories, which are the most complicated and hard to teach etiquette to?
Probably the children, because this is new for them in some ways. A lot of kids, the beginning part is review with the basic manners and things like that. We build our foundation from there, and so some of the tools that I introduce to them are new. And so we review things both physically with poise, showing them the proper way to do things, and then they have to show me.
Okay, but when you're teaching children, young children, you just said it's the foundation for how they grow into their teenage years, and then especially when they become an adult.
Yes.
So give me some tips for kids, little kids. Where do you start?
I start with trying to empower them with the information. We do different little exercises where I stand far away from them because I want them to grow in their confidence. So we do little skits with compliments and apologies and things like that, just helping them to learn their voice or grow their voice. Working then very much focused on eye contact with the younger kids. It's very uncomfortable for some of them at early ages. Working on their handshakes, because that is our introduction to people you've never met. You need to have a good handshake.
Okay, so right now, show me a good handshake.
Nice and firm.
Nice
yes.
and firm.
Eye contact. Pleasant look on your face.
Okay, show me a bad handshake.
The dead fish handshake. We both did it.
Okay, so that is obviously bad, and that translates into adulthood.
It does.
If I'm at a meeting and I meet somebody and they give me a weak handshake, it conveys so much. And kind of that they're not interested in you, right?
That is what it communicates. It's an unspoken or almost an unintentional disrespect that people do, I think, when they don't give a good handshake to respect you as a person and introduce themselves to you.
Right. And eye contact speaks volumes.
It does.
Okay. So when you're a young kid and you need to be confident to look somebody in the eye, right?
Yes.
Okay. So how do you teach a child that?
I tell them if they are uncomfortable with eye contact, which many of them are, and I raise my hand and I admit that I was uncomfortable as a child too, I tell them, wake up in the morning and say to yourself, okay, I'm going to look in someone's eyes today, anybody that I speak with, for a whole 30 seconds, and do that for a couple of days. And then kick that up to a minute and then 2 minutes, and before you know it, you're looking in someone's eyes. I tell them it's that important. I make them repeat eye contact 3 times to really just express how important this skill is.
Okay, so give me an example of that. So you tell them eye contact. Do they count themselves 30 seconds?
No, all together. I say this skill is so important that we're going to repeat eye contact 3 times together. And we say eye contact, eye contact, eye contact, and they giggle. But it really, really focuses them on how important this skill is moving into adulthood. And I give them different examples of people I've met in my life that weren't especially good at eye contact and how it makes another person feel uncomfortable.
Well, it would be if we were having a conversation right now and I wasn't looking at you.
You're not interested. You don't want me to be here. Or looking at like that at somebody, looking at someone's chin, and now you're feeling uncomfortable. Do I have something on my face?
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
And yes, it's their issue most likely, but it makes the receiver of that communication feel uncomfortable.
So let's jump to adulthood, because people are out having business meetings in public, eating, right?
Yes.
So dining etiquette is very important. So let's talk about this.
Okay.
What is the basic for good dining etiquette?
Can I run through some
of course,
skills with
yes,
you?
Please.
Okay. Well, first I teach people to start with your poise and your posture at the table, sitting up nice and tall. Your feet are out straight in front of you. So we start with a basic table setting. We can put these plates up and off to the side for a second. Okay. So a basic table setting would be your napkin off to the left of your plate.
Okay.
Your plate should be about 1 inch from the table. And you want to sit with yourself about a fist width from the table. The reason for that is that allows you to lean in, and if you're eating something saucy, it'll drop on the plate instead of on you.
Or spaghetti. Right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So your fork should then come to the left of the plate, napkin, fork, plate, one of the knives with the blade facing in to the right of the plate, and then your spoon next to that, and your silverware and your plate are all lined up. Your drinking glass is always going to be over your knife.
So, okay, so then this is our place setting, and say dinner is served.
Okay.
And
so dinner is served family style, and we're sharing things.
Yep.
With family style, we pass dishes to the right with our left hand. The reason for that is if someone's sitting next to us and the person next to them asks for something, we don't then take our serving dish, and put our arm in front of the person next to us. If we use our left hand and pass it, that can't happen.
Okay.
So then from there, I ask the people to pick up their utensil, their fork, and I assess how they're holding it. You don't want to crowd the tines, and you don't want to hold it too loosely up here. So we're holding it properly, and from here I go through American and continental style of dining.
Okay, and we have this: impeccable manners are the key to success, and that holds true for everyone.
Absolutely. This is my dining etiquette book. But I keep that mantra going for everybody. It really makes a difference, and it would make a difference in our society if everybody was following all of their good manners.
Well, thank you so much for being with us. It has been a pleasure. You've taught me so much. And can I keep these plates?
You sure can.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And once again, we've been joined by etiquette teacher Stacy Amey. And on this week's episode of Parenting on the Go, we talk about the mental health of our children. Hello and welcome to Parenting on the Go. I'm Brooke Allen, and joining me today is Tanya Petkov. Tanya is a limited licensed psychologist at Child and Family Solutions in Farmington Hills. And Tanya, thank you so much for being with us. And today we're talking about ways to keep kids mentally healthy. So tell me, where do you even start with that?
I know, and I often think this is kind of a loaded question, but I think the best way we can kind of think about it is maybe looking at it from 5 major points. And I think the first one being, making sure that the child and parent has a very trustworthy relationship. And I think one of the best ways that we can do that is through consistency and predictability in our parenting strategies. Because if you go to any local bookstore, there's 1,000 parenting books on how to do this. And I think that one of the things we have to really keep in mind is making sure that we don't use empty threats when we're parenting, such as saying, if you don't stop this right now, we're going to leave, and then not leaving or not following through on something that we promise. I think another really key important thing is making sure that we spend one-on-one time with our children. A lot of times in the practice, I call this special time. It's, basically unplugging and spending 15 to 20 minutes with our child. It could be doing something on the floor if they're younger. It could be watching a favorite show if they're teenagers, but just doing something that the kid really kind of is interested in, let them guide it. I think it should be something that we follow through on regardless of their behavior that day. That's just something that they can expect.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What if they're siblings? And you need to divide your time. How do you navigate that?
That's a good question. I think one of the things is depending on family situations, if there is another caretaker or parent involved and around, then maybe you guys can even break it up. One day, dad gets one of the kids and mom has the other, or vice versa.
So switch off.
Yeah, so switch off. And I think, it can be something that maybe even you could switch at different times of day. Maybe that kid will have to do something on their own for a little bit while mom kind of spends time with the sibling, or vice versa. So,
okay, thank you so much for all the information. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And thank you for joining us on this edition of Parenting on the Go. And for more helpful parenting tips, you can visit the West Bloomfield Youth Assistance website at wbyouthAssistance.org. For more episodes of Parenting on the Go, visit civiccentertv.com/parenting to go. And now it's time for our final segment, Person of the Week, where we celebrate the people in our community who are inspiring and providing toward others. And this week's recipient is the Director of Sales at the Hampton Inn, Lisa Shapiro. Lisa is a West Bloomfield native, and growing up in the community has been a big factor in the work she does today. Managing the sales of both the Hampton Inn and Home to Suite, she wants to use her position to build up the community around her. And she does this by participating in various charitable ways by having the Hampton Inn be involved in many community charitable organizations. They also offer discounts and partner with hospitals to assist with the living needs of people who may be going through a rough time. And this dedication to both her organization and the community is what makes Lisa our Person of the Week. And if you know someone who is making a positive difference, let us know. Send an email to thesplash@civiccentertv.com. We want to congratulate and acknowledge those making a difference in our community, and we appreciate your suggestions. That's it for this week's show. You can watch new episodes Mondays at 5:30 p.m. at Civic Center TV on Comcast 15, AT&T 99, and online in HD at civiccentertv.com. And, of course, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and now on Instagram at Civic Center TV. And for all our friends in Sylvan Lake, Orchard Lake, Kego Harbor, and West Bloomfield, I'm Brooke Allen. Thank you for watching The Splash.